Hello there, I am Sheena and I am the independent yarn dyer behind Casual Fashion Queen or CFQ Yarn on Instagram and other things. I am an avid knitter, crocheter. I love to sew, I love to cross stitch, spin yarn, basically anything and everything that I can get my crafty little hands on. But mostly I just really love dyeing yarn. I will draw photos and paint pictures and go on walks and stare at sunsets because I am just so inspired by color and beauty and nature and everything. So I just love trying to transmute what I see into yarn. It has been such a long time since I recorded that I'm actually going to go ahead and talk about everything I knit in 2024, which is almost everything is stacked here. I have one hat that I don't know where it is, and I guess that's how it happens, and an item that's not in this stack but on the floor. I did not have the most productive 2024 with knitting, particularly March through the summer. I got really stressed out when our car had to have its engine replaced and I just couldn't focus. So I wish this was a bigger pile. But alas, this is all that I have. I guess that I will begin with something that I didn't actually knit last year, but I did finish. I had found this stashed away in my stash, and I had actually did this section incorrectly. I didn't realize that I had messed up basically line 2 or 3. And the whole thing is just completely thrown off. Once I saw it, you know, all bets are off. I didn't want to work on it anymore because I had gone so far beyond where I had messed up. So I actually just went ahead and cast it off. I figured this was plenty enough shawl to wrap around since I did finish a much larger shawl last year. This is the Fantastitch by West Knits, and I really did love making this. I really did, until I found the error and it kind of just burst that bubble. Oh well, c'est la vie, it still works, it's still beautiful, and it is one that we can just grab and go. So technically, I started that one first, as it wasn't started in 2024. Everything else in this pile I did cast on last year. The first thing that I cast on, and the most time-consuming and most obsessed of all of the projects that I was this. The Heirloom Quilt Cardigan. Hands down, one of my favorite. I would love to have a blanket of these squares. I held 2 strands of sock weight throughout to create a marled effect. These are all my colorways. We have Love Letter, Patagonia, Symphogear, Pink Moon, Carmen, Retrograde. So many good ones. I just loved making this. And all of the colors came together so beautifully. I don't know, orange and blue. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the sun sets and sunrises, but I really love that combination. This is super warm. The only mod that I made was I added these I-cords. I'm sorry, plant. These I-cord ties, just to kind of help keep it on my body. I feel like it wants to fall back on me. And I could have probably made the smaller size, but I made the medium, and it just is very heavy, very warm. This is warm. If you need a warm cardigan, very warm. It's very heavy, it's squishy, it's like everything you want in a warm and cozy cardigan for around the house. And it looks beautiful enough to dress up blue jeans or a pretty skirt or however and head out as well. I get complimented on this constantly. This is a popular one for people to come up and say something because I don't think they've really seen anything like it. And I don't blame them for thinking it looks cool enough to approach a stranger. I mean, I don't approach strangers, but they like to approach me. So I had knit 3 hats. I can't find one. This, I don't even know. I think I made this up. It's a knit 3, purl 3 until I ran out of yarn. This is my colorway Glimmer. I may have some of this in stock, I don't even know, but it's a popular one and it's really fun, and it made a really cute pom-pom. I really like it, but I need to put it on a little bit tighter. This is a new colorway. This pattern, I did use a pattern for this one. This is Kobuk by Boyland Knitworks, Caitlin Hunter. I met her, I don't know, 2019? It was a long time ago. But yeah, I knit this in December. It's one of the last things that I finished, but not the last thing that I finished. And the other hat was kind of a turban style. And I have no idea where I stick these things. I made a ripple bralette with one change. I did make, or I did attach the back straps to each other. Usually they wouldn't make this X pattern, but I made them too long and it just kind of worked out perfectly when I did that. I wear this quite often. This is a new base that I had, and this is Del Rey. I started carrying this year. This is merino and linen, a single ply. You can kind of see the hairiness and the texture. I'm holding it in the light. Maybe you'll be able to see the linen better. I was a little nervous that the linen would be a little itchy, but it wasn't. I wear this, I mean, this is obviously next to skin and your unmentionables, and it works. So this is the shawl that I cast on and knitted last year. This is Building Blocks by West Knits, the same as the other, same designer as the other. This is huge, absolutely enormously long. It has to be 10 feet at least. It's very long. I think I can put it on my head and it still touches the floor on either side. I'm not very tall, but if you are looking for gigantic shawls, this is a particularly gigantic one. I love it. I think it's cozy. You can wrap it a million ways, and I always had loved this pattern. This is a pattern that I remember the knit along, and for some reason I just didn't join. I think that was the first year I hadn't joined after doing the knit along for a couple of years, and maybe I just didn't believe in myself that I could do it because everybody seems to do it so much faster. So I just didn't join in, and then I just had complete regret because I loved this pattern, and then it took me a couple years to finally just go ahead and knit it. It had been in my library for ages, and I really enjoyed knitting this. These are my colors as well. Big surprise. This was knit in 4 of my colors: Del Rey, Frosty Mallow, and Strawberry Swirl. And I really did love this. It's just, it begins this way. It begins here, and then it builds out and out and out and out. And like I said, after a while, you're knitting about 10-foot rows. Last but not least, I have 2 tops. I knit the first one in spring. I used Nausicaa's Garden, which is one of my Studio Ghibli inspired colors. And this is the Cozy Classic Light. I cast on the large for this one. I did not do all of the arm increases. I actually shortened the depth of the arm by quite a lot and then immediately did the ribbing for the short sleeve. I didn't add any length. It is as it is. So when I had finished knitting the short sleeve Nausicaa's Garden version, I had promised myself that I wanted to knit another. It was so comfortable. I really loved how it felt. So I cast on again a large, and this time I did not shorten the sleeve. I went down. It is much fuller across the chest than the other one and wears very differently. I did a half sleeve. I'd say half sleeve, not 3/4, because I shove my sleeves up all day long. And I did a mismatch hem, split up the sides, I think about 3 inches in the front and 5 inches in the back. And I love it. It's so comfortable. But if I was to do a third one, I would definitely cast on a medium for a different silhouette. This one has come out very, very oversized. I am not a particularly large person. I'm 5'2". I do have swerves and curves, so I'm not a particularly small person, but I think the silhouette of a medium would be very, very nice, as well as these silhouettes. And I'm actually curious to see how it would wear and if there would be a big difference, really. I don't think it would be terribly different from how I did the first one. I think I did the arms slightly closer to the medium, and I really like how this one fits. It's a little more tailored to my body. But also I did do waist shaping in this one and not this one, because I wanted more of the split hem to be the more dramatic thing. And I had lots and lots of yarn left over from retrograde, which brings me to this year. My first cast on of 2025 was a cast on that I had promised myself for years. I've owned this pattern for a very long time and finally got around to knitting myself a pair of pants. This is the Marled Mania Leggings by Stephen West. Again, West Knits, and they're amazing. I love these so much. I have probably 10 inches of knitting left, to be honest. I've been obsessed with another pattern though, my fault completely. Part of what I feel like is kind of slowing me down too is that the decreasing in the pattern is very straightforward, but I'm not like a 6 foot something straight-legged person. So I had to kind of really work on the decreasing as I was working through the first leg. So I have to kind of really keep picking up and comparing, because I didn't write anything down. I mean, why would I possibly want to do that? And so I kind of have to keep looking and counting, and it is holding me up, but I know that I can probably knock that out in a day or two of knitting. So the next thing that I cast on, and actually I finished, are a pair of mittens. This is my January colorway, Hellebore. I knit these in DK weight, and the pattern is the world's simplest mittens, which you can use any weight yarn. It's all in there for you to adjust everything to what you need and what you have. So I definitely recommend these. It's the second time that I knit them and they work up really, really fast. I'm actually going to show you a peek of Hellebore because I have it here. I have been working on, there's a knit sample and a crochet sample under there that I'm trying to get finished. So the third thing that I cast on this year, and something I kind of also promised myself, was socks. I feel like I'm starting to wear through a lot of the socks that I knit early on, and so I need to replenish that. I typically would be knitting a vanilla sock, but I cast on Paddington Station by Ambrose Knits. This is from her Miss Marple collection, which is part of the Agatha Christie universe. She has loads and loads of patterns. I have lots of her patterns and I've knit them before, and I think they're so smart. I think they're so beautiful. And I mean, this color is just shining with this little ridge throughout. I love this. I think these socks are going to be gorgeous to wear. So hibiscus, this is one of my new colors. This is my February color of the month. I wanted something that was very Valentine's, very lovey, and I just love it. The pinks, the reds, the purples, and then the little oranges throughout. It's beautiful and it's everything, and I love it. Here's I actually chose a lighter one with more of the lighter spots in it. I love, because a lot of them are just the sweetest little pastel pinks. Just love how they look. I don't usually have extra money to shop for much of anything, so I treated myself with some money from my father, who gave me a bit for Christmas, to some hand spun yarn from a friend of mine who closed her shop at the end of last year. So this is, I needed a little piece of Wanda. So this is from Silly Sheep Design, called Snake Charmer, and this is a hand spun yarn. It is 40% merino, 20% brown alpaca, 20% camel, and 20% mulberry silk. This is special. We have 342 yards. I don't know what I'm going to turn this into, but I know I'm going to overthink it for a long time. Excuse you. Excuse you. Also, I wanted to show from Melody. My friend sent me these. I still need to hang them up. Thank you, Melody, so much. These are so beautiful. I am a mushroom freak. I am looking, sorry, Winston is running around. I am looking forward to spring and summer and fall and to foraging, but I'm also really enjoying winter and resting and the quietness of it all, and with reconnecting with my crafting, which seems to really be what is happening right now. I am really happy that I've been able to lean back into, do you want to come up? I've been able to lean back into my making to help me with my anxiety and the ways that I can just feel sometimes. And things like this sock that I'm knitting can just really, when I can focus and find that quiet while knitting, I am just forever grateful that I am a maker. Kind of, you know, it silences everything. I need to go check on some sourdough. It is cinnamon and sugar and butter and all the good things. And yeah, it's calling my name. So I will talk to you as soon as I can.